VitalHoops is for the culture.
Peace. Jumbo, welcome to the VitalHoopsPodcast. My name is Fernando, aka International XB. I am your host. This is episode number 62. I have a great guest today. We're going to be speaking a little bit about the Sahel States. But before I do that, I just wanted to let you all know I am now doing a morning show with the rest of the comrades on Black Power Media. So make sure you tune in from Tuesday to Friday. It's the Rise Up morning show, international morning show on Black Power Media. I'm going to put the link in the description so you can see what we got going on. And that's that. Tune in, Black Power Media. Also, I was on the Indigenous Nightmare Network last Monday talking basketball, on Breaking the Backboard. We spoke a little bit about post-revolution basketball and a few other things that are going on right now in the basketball world. There's a lot going on. Shout out to the comrade Isaac and the Indigenous Nightmare Network. Shout out to Black Power Media. And also, our Panaf Hip Hop shirts are still available. If you want to support our organization, the Pan-African League Umoja, please get you one of those. The link is down in the description. So anyways, like I said, we have a great guest today. It's his second time around here on the VitalHoopsPodcast. He was featured on episode number 52. And it's an honor to have him back. My brother and comrade, Vladimir Mitchell, aka Vlad of HABANA NEGRA. Vlad, peace, and welcome back to the VitalHoopsPodcast. How you doing, brother?
Thank you for the invitation. I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. As good as can be. And it's always an honor to have you on, my comrade and friend. And you already know, once you're on more than once, that means you're a friend of the show. That means you are, a regular in here. You already know you're more than welcome. So anytime.
Yeah, I'm a regular in this show, and I watch all the episodes, and I enjoy it. I enjoy all the episodes, all the guests you have here. And, it's a very good show. It's a very good show, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No doubt, man. I appreciate that. And like I said, it's good to have you back, man.
Thank you.
So listen, there's a few things I wanna touch on, but mainly we're gonna be talking a little bit about the Alliance of the Sahel States. It's just something that's very important, and that, in my opinion, in the diaspora, we're not speaking about this enough. We're not focused enough on the Alliance of the Sahel States. So what we have right now is actually we have a confederation, right? A confederation between Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, right? Which was established on July 6th, 2024, right? But before I let you go, just to give a little bit of context, how did this all started? It originated as a mutual defense, right? Which started on September 16th, 2023, right? And they were doing resistance because ECOWA was intensifying the pressure, right, on these states.
What I have read and listened to people talking about this is that ECOWAS, which is the Economic Community of West African States, and as we know, that's an organization that responds to Western pressure, right? So it's essentially a Western. It could be said that it's a Western organization in Africa. So
and they control pretty much the economy of everything around that area, right? That's important for the listeners to understand when it comes.
Yes, exactly. So that organization threatened to invade. I believe it was Niger. To invade, and then Burkina Faso and Mali, they responded saying that if you invade Niger, we will take it as an invasion on us.
Absolutely.
And I believe that was kind of the start of the alliance that eventually was created.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it began. We have to understand that these states have been under French colonialism, and neo-colonialism for years. And so this is not something small. This is something big that's going on right now. This is serious resistance. The West in general is not taking this lightly. It's not like it's all good, we're out, okay, cool. No, because we have to understand that all these imperialist countries, they still run off of the resources in the motherland, right?
Exactly.
And these three countries are great part of these places where they get their resources, where they steal their resources from.
Yeah.
To this day, right?
Yes. Yeah. Essentially, it's been happening like it's happened in the south of the globe, right? So the Western countries, they have governments that are their puppets, right? So essentially, and they agree to all the resources in the given country will go to the Western countries, and then to be have products sold back to them. Most of in many cases, even not affordable prices, right?
Right.
Whenever there has been cases that leaders have wanted to alter that arrangement, right, in order to give a little bit more to their people. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if it's just a little bit, or if it's to provide all the resources to the people. Even if you want to give a little bit to the people, they never agree to that, and and they will take measures to eliminate those leaders that to want to provide for the people. And I mean, examples, there's lots of examples. The one, I mean, in Latin America, there's lots of examples, and all over the South. Mm-hmm. But the one I like the most, and I always talk about, is the one in Haiti, right? The Jean Beltran Aristide. He wanted to elevate his people from misery to poverty, right?
To poverty.
It's not even that. Yeah. So that says it all, and they didn't allow that, right? So that's why it is very, very important for Africans and Africans in the diaspora to support and tell and counter the narrative of the West is going to, or is already imposing on the events happening in the Sahel region, right?
No doubt, man. Because there's a lot of propaganda coming in from the West. Their propaganda machine is serious. It always has been, and we have to understand that. You know what I'm saying? We can't just watch anything or read anything from anybody and think that, that's what's going on. I would like to talk a little bit about this. Like, first of all, I think we have to understand also that this is, as of now, it's a confederation, right? It's good. It's progress. It's working towards something positive. I think we have to support it, but it's not over. You know what I mean? It's not like we can, that's it, throw our hands up and it's all good, we won the revolution. That's not it. First of all, we need more countries to join. That's first of all. And a lot of people are speaking about it going from a confederation to a federation, right?
Yeah, I wasn't. It was yesterday that I was introduced to the notion of the difference between a confederation and a federation, right?
Yeah.
And it's so I think a federation is essentially how the United States operates, right? So there's a federal government that essentially governs over all the states members of the given federation.
Okay, yeah.
A confederation has, from what I understand, is still more individual, right?
Yeah, it's a little more divided. Yeah.
It's a little bit more divided. So it would be ideal to move towards a federation. Yeah. And like you said, like move other countries into the federation, all the countries in Africa into the federation as possible. But, as it is right now, this is just the beginning. But I was talking about it yesterday. We could say that this is the beginning of a dream of many of our leaders coming true, right?
Of our freedom fighters, yep.
Yeah. I mean, this is unprecedented in history, right? For Pan-Africanism, right? Like essentially, an Africa united and fighting our common oppressor, right? Mm-hmm. It is very important, and like you say, not enough people are talking about it, and not enough people are promoting this event, right?
Yeah, we need it. We need to speak about it. We need to support it. As African people in the diaspora, I think it's very important. What do you think about Senegal? Because we know Senegal is a key piece to all of this. Senegal is right close to these countries geographically, but unfortunately, Senegal has been like the colony, the French colony. If you had to pick one, it's been Senegal that have been really close to France. Politically, they've had so many puppets working with France. Senegal and France have a long history, and so it's going to be tough. But there is a new president in Senegal who calls himself a Pan-Africanist, so that's something positive. So we're going to see how it goes. A lot of people are criticizing him already because he didn't just full on just cut all ties, but at the same time, it's not like he didn't cut the ties either. He's moving a little slower, but I believe we have to give him his time and see how it goes, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think we have to look at the people, I think if the people are ready, there are good chances that it will happen. In the meeting we had yesterday, there was a brother that mentioned that, the events that happen in the three countries that are confederated now in the Sahel, the people essentially move the revolution forward. So the revolution, yes, the people are aligned or very much at the head of the revolution, at the head.
That's how it has to be. Yep.
And that's how it has to be, I think. And if we look at what's happening now, also in Kenya, right?
Yeah,
the people are not taking any more those abuses from the state, like I'm going to just increase the taxes and you have to take it. People are saying no, we're not going to do that, right? Absolutely. So we have to, I think, pay attention to where the people are, and if the people are ready, there are very good chances that it will happen. It would be ideal, it would be amazing if Senegal also joined the confederation.
That would be huge. That
would be huge. We need really. That, but like you said, we have to pay attention to it. At least the leader of Senegal has said that he's a Pan-Africanist, and we just have to continue to pay attention to that.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, like you said, Senegal would definitely be huge. And here, here in France right now, there's a lot of talk amongst us Pan-Africanists because the president of Senegal recently mentioned that he was a Pan-Africanist, a left-wing Pan-Africanist, right? And that kind of made a little uproar. Everybody's like, well, that's divisive. Why can't he just be a Pan-Africanist? And what, a bunch of things like that. And so, there's a lot of talk going on as far as that. I think that if you're a Pan-Africanist and it bothers you, that he's saying that he's a left-wing Pan-Africanist, then I would like to know which part bothers you about that. Like I don't really understand what, like if he would have said I'm a right-wing Pan-Africanist, that would be a problem, right? Because in my opinion, there's no such thing, right? I kind of take it the following way, recently I was speaking to the president of our organization here, shout out to the Pan-African League Umoja, and he spoke about that. He said, it's kind of like hip hop. The reason why so many people now have to say, this is real hip hop. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we have to justify, like, yo, this is real hip hop. Well, it should just be hip hop. It's true. We should be able to just say this is hip hop. There shouldn't be no fake hip hop and all this. But the reality is, where we live, there's people saying they're hip hop when they're not. You know what I'm saying? So him saying this is left-wing Pan-Africanism is kind of similar to that. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that was a good analogy. Shout out to Amzat. He pointed that out. But yeah, what do you think about that? Left-wing Pan-Africanism?
Yeah, man. I think I think this has been part of the struggle forever. Like many terms at least, but also movement get co-opted, right?
Yeah.
And you have to be able to defend against that. And I think that's perhaps what he's trying to do, to define, to make it clear where you're at, right? And I don't know if this is the issue, but we know that many people it's a trigger when they hear the word left, or they hear the word those terms, right?
Absolutely.
But essentially, in essence, it's something that I also learned very recently, because all of this, left or right or socialism or communism or capitalism, essentially what we're talking about is of how we are going to distribute the resources of a given nation,
right,
place, or even the world, right? That's what we're talking about, how we're going to distribute the resources. And I learned recently there's only two ways to do that, right? You can distribute the resources in a equitable way amongst the people in a given area or even the world, or you can have the resources being concentrated in a few places, and you have to choose what you want to happen. I personally, I think you too, we want the resources to be distributed amongst the people. It doesn't make sense to us to have people starving in the streets or not having a place to sleep, right? When we have resources for those people, it doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense for us. But essentially, when we're talking about those terms, the left is always been people who think the resources should be equally, equitably distributed amongst the people. But I think those explanations need to be made, because sometimes we lose the meaning of what it means. Like we started, it gets co-opted, and then people don't know what we're talking about. Absolutely. So I think it's important to lay the ground, right? For people to understand, for us to understand.
No doubt. It's what Sankara said. Sankara said it's either going to be muddy water for some and champagne for others, or it's going to be clean water for everybody.
Exactly.
We have to choose, you know what I mean? And we don't want muddy water for anybody. So we're going to fight for clean water for everybody. That's it,
Yes.
But yeah, what you said is key. I think, also I'm listening to Kwame Ture also spoke about how, how would you judge socialism, right? And he said, and the other person said by a socialist. He's like, no, you don't judge it by other socialists. You judge it by its definition. That's how you need to judge it. Judge it by its definition, right? So who's going to be against redistribution of goods for everybody to be able to have what they need? You know what I'm saying?
Well, some people are.
Yeah.
But I think that line
that's inhumane, in my opinion. Some people are.
It is. Some people are inhumane, right? Yeah. And but I think that the importance of drawing the line is to avoid confusion. Is to tell people, okay, where are you at? You want resources to be equally distributed, or you want it to be concentrated in one, hoping that you will be one of those people with resources.
Right.
So, but the thing, I think many people are confused, right? And they don't understand what's even been talking about, right? What we're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw that of Kwame Ture talking about that, and he's right. You cannot judge socialism by a socialist, Right. You have to judge it by the definition. Right?
Yeah, man. I think it's interesting, this is why what Kwame Ture said is so important, is because we have had a lot of socialists that have fucked with our people. Let's just call it that, we're Pan-Africanists, we're African first, you know what I'm saying? And so that's also a good point. But
yes,
but we have to understand what it is truly. And I think when we speak about Pan-Africanism, again, to quote Amzad Bukari Yabara, the president of our organization, he said, Pan-Africanism is not a political party. It's a movement of liberation, right? It's a movement of liberation first, okay? It has to be anti-capitalist. It has to be anti-imperialist and anti-colonialist, and then it also poses the question of reparations. You know what I'm saying? These are things that have always been in left movements, right? These are things that have always been in left movements, right? If we define the beginning of Pan-Africanism with the Haitian Revolution, which is what many people do, or even if we want to go with the Quilombos or the Palenques, well, it's revolution. It's a revolutionary movement, right? So if you're looking at the far left, you're looking at revolution, right? Yes. If you're looking at the far right, you're looking at fascism, which is the total opposite, right? So I think a lot of people, when they hear the left, they're thinking about some other shit. Maybe they're thinking about, the left as far as in these imperialist countries. Maybe they're thinking about the Democrats. No, that's not what we're talking about here. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about the revolutionary left.
So, it's essentially people who are opposed to the current system, the system that has been running for hundreds of years, right? There's always been people that have been against the system, and they want to change the system. They don't want to modify the system. They don't want to make some fixes to the system. They want to change the system, completely change the system, right? And some of those people have been part of the left, right?
Yeah.
And we have Pan-Africanists, right, who also want to change the system. And but this is a question I have, so in terms of the distribution of resources, do you think all Pan-Africanists agree with distributing the resources amongst the people, or do you think that there's people who are Pan-Africanist, like meaning they want the freedom of Africa and self-determination of Africa, united Africa, for the benefit of Africans in Africa and outside of Africa, but they would believe that some sort of meritocracy, version of meritocracy?
Listen, I think there's everything. There's a bunch of crazy people. That's what I think. But I'm not the Pan-Africanist police, right? But in my opinion and how I view Pan-Africanism is just like I said, you know, Pan-Africanism has to be anti-capitalist, right? And it's a movement of liberation. You can't be about liberation and not want the wealth and the resources to be redistributed amongst the people, right? That's what it is.
Yes.
So it has to be that, in my opinion, right? Now, I do believe that as Pan-Africanists, I do believe that we have to be African-centered as well. I don't think we're not, it's not the same as, we're not just, you know, communists, we're not socialists, we're Pan-Africanists. So I think we have to be African-centered, right? But being African-centered alone is not enough. You know what I'm saying? Our culture has to be revolutionary because we're oppressed. If we weren't oppressed, we could just be chilling, African-centered, cool, smooth, everything good. We're an oppressed people, right? So we have to be revolutionary. Everything has to be, our culture has to be revolutionary. Our ideology has to be revolutionary, you know, everything. And so, you know, speaking about that, we got to get back to the importance of ideology, right? And you and I, we speak a lot about that because what's going on now, you know, with the Sahel states, and you saying correctly that the people have to be ready. You know, and how are the people ready? They need political education and they need to get their ideology right. You know what I'm saying? That's a key part. That's a key part.
Yes.
Because, you know, a lot of people, a lot of brothers and sisters, unfortunately, in the motherland, especially in places like, you know, Senegal or places like Nigeria, you know, certain countries like that are quote unquote developed by the West, you know, in the capital at least. In the capital of the country, you see, like, you think you're in New York, some places, you know, you see big cars and, you know, big, you know, and the people thinking that that's progress, you know, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we need progress. We need more of that. Some people are still confused with a lot of that. And with the notion of millionaires and billionaires and all this shit, not understanding that the more billionaires we have, the more poor, the more misery we have around the globe, the more poor people we have. So we want to get away from that. We don't want more of that, right? That doesn't mean, once again, I always have to clarify people because now they think that we have to be nasty and dirty and smelling and shit. That doesn't mean we can't be fly and we can't have a good time and we can't have nice things, you know, but it just means that we have to be fair. No, we cannot have 8 houses and 14 cars and fucking, you know, no, we can't do that because we keep on drilling for more resources, fucking up the planet and etc. Right? So we have to be, you know, we have to be, I know I kind of went all over the place, but we have to be in tune with these things, right? We have to be connected to these things. So, you know, ideology.
I think everything you said is essentially related to education and political education, right? Like when you have some understanding of how the system works and how it operates, you will not fall for the trap of trying to become a millionaire, or trying to have nice things, and by nice things that are the culture, the subculture, the dominant culture, which tells you that those things are nice, right? Because I mean, what's nice? You know, our things are nice too. The things that we make and our people make are very nice, you know, and they don't hurt nobody. Absolutely. So
and a lot of the times the reason we want those things, we don't realize, but we just want those things because of propaganda. Like we've been made to think that, oh, I want that thing, I want that watch, I want that car, but really it's because we've been programmed for all this, you know, and we're not in tune with ourselves, we're not in tune with nature, we're not in tune with a lot of things that are not material, right?
Yes.
But yeah, my fault, I cut you off. Keep going.
No, you're good. We're on the same topic, you know. It's essentially we're going around education and political education, you know, like how important it is, and awareness, right? And sometimes sometimes that's what we look at the people, right? Because sometimes people may not have a whatever deep understanding or whatever, but as people we know when something is not right and when something,
exactly.
And those are the moments that are powerful, right? Those
Absolutely.
are the moments that, like, again, we have the example of the 3 countries of the Sahel, that the people are in total agreement with what's happening. That's wonderful, and that's amazing.
No doubt. Absolutely, man. I appreciate that, man. Yeah. I wanted to touch a little bit on the whole madness that's going on right now in the United States with Donald Trump. It's crazy, man. A lot of people, really think they have to pick, they have to pick and choose between Biden and Trump. They really think like, yo, we have to, the people that are voting for Biden because they don't like Biden, but they think if Trump comes in, it's gonna be World War III and we're all gonna die, or there's that kind. But then there's the people that are actually voting for Trump, are actually like, and I'm talking about our people. I'm not talking about the crazy white folks, those people. I mean, yeah, there's crazy white folks that think they're in a cult and they wear a white thing over their ear when Trump gets shot and shit. I mean, I don't care about them. Like, that's, but I'm talking about our people, when we see, African people, not only Afro-Americans, immigrants that are living in the States, whether it's Afro-Cubans or Afro-Dominicans or whoever, or brothers and sisters from the continent that migrate to the States too, that are actually supporting Trump. We're seeing this trend of a lot of people that, were deceived by politics, but instead of becoming more radical with it, they're like, no, this shit doesn't work. So now they go to the right and they go like, oh, no, we have to vote for Trump. We have to try something different. And so, what I'm saying? Donald Trump, he's for small businesses. He wants us to prosper. All this misinformation that, that is dangerous, man. That, that is dangerous because, when we speak about ideology, understanding our radical history as African people, well, now we're talking about the total opposite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think we weren't. I mean, it's propaganda war, and we're not winning.
Because they have the machine. They run.
They have the machine. They have all the resources, and
algorithm, everything.
And it is at all levels, right? Like, if you, it doesn't have to be necessarily strictly political speech. Just everything is related to politics. To everything is political, right? Everything is used as a political weapon. Everything is politicized.
Yeah.
But even not talking strictly about politics, the people who are talking about business and improving your life, and all of that has a lot of popularity right now, right? If you wake up early, if you do wake up and do a few push-ups and read a book, somehow it will happen, and in 5 years we'll become billionaire, right?
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And if you're poor, it's because you're not doing all those things, right? That's very popular right now. I mean, it's kind of the summed up, but there's many ways this message is being sent to the people. Yeah. And people are buying into it. Lots of people are buying into it. They're creating a business, which is all good. It's cool to create a business and have your own business and all of that. But presenting business creation and business ownership as the solution for the problems we have in society, especially for specific groups in society, right? So all of this message is invading us from many places, from all over. Yeah. Whoever says anything different is immediately attacked, and they attempt to ridiculize them, right? Yeah. So all of this is aligned with right-wing ideology and with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
A self-made billionaire, or whatever the case it is, and they, for example, they would never talk that the about 80% of the wealth in the world has been inherited, including his, right? But they all talk that I made myself, I got up early, did the 5 push-ups, read the book, and see where I am now, right? Absolutely. So we are invaded by this message. So all of that plays into people having being in love with millionaires and billionaires, right?
Yeah.
So those are the aspirations. Those are the heroes of the people nowadays. So I think that plays a lot into people admiring or being in favor of someone like Donald Trump.
For sure, man. Nah, that's it. That's real, man. We have to stay on top of shit, man. We have to know what's going on. We have to understand. We have to study our radical history. We have to know what's going on. One of the crazy things I see is, people like right now, there's a bunch of rappers in the States, supporting Donald Trump. We've seen a bunch of people, when certain rappers were in jail, and I'm not talking about, conscious activist rappers. I'm talking about mainstream commercial rappers in jail. Everybody out on the streets for them, right? Protests, everything. But now Mumia has been locked up since 1981, and we don't see those people out there when there's a rally for Mumia, right? So people not understanding the radical history. Again, Mumia is someone that's been fighting for us for years, and he keeps doing so behind bars. And a lot of people are not there to support it. That's the same thing that we're seeing. I like when you mentioned the other day, like people worried about Donald Trump getting shot. Our people worried about Donald Trump getting shot, but they're not worried about, the president of Burkina Faso right now that has been how many attempts?
I think it's about three.
Like three assassination attempts, right?
Yeah. Ibrahim Traoré, yeah.
Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso. They're trying to kill him, obviously, because like we said, like they're not gonna let that shit fly like that, right? Yeah. So as black people, as African people.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
But at the same, when we were talking about that the other day, I remember another example. Do you remember when I think 3 or 4 billionaires went in a submarine and it disappeared?
Yeah, and people were so worried, man. And meanwhile, our people were dying in the seas everywhere.
Our people were trying to find their fins and their equipment to go and find the billionaires, and try to help. Where can I donate? What can I do? And tears in their eyes. At the same time, around the same time, we had people from that were migrating from North Africa to Europe. And there was a boat that they flipped. Yeah. And many people drowned. Many of our people drowned. And we didn't hear anything about that. And most of us didn't shed a tear for that, right? For that event. So that speaks to where we are at, right? And what condition we are. And we're concerned about the health of our oppressors. And
we want to integrate and become them.
That's where the problem is. Yeah. That's where the problem is. For the most part. Yeah. But I don't, at the same time, having said that, I think it's a matter of consciousness. I think, and we have to understand what we are fighting with, what we're against. And I think we have to continue to tell a story and continue to
absolutely
to spread our message, and little by little, I think people will be waking up, right? It's not too long ago when I didn't understand the things that I understand today. So I think we're moving
and we're seeing positive things happen, like just this, where we're talking about the Alliance of the Sahel States. And now, we're also seeing, I'm seeing young organizations, young Pan-Africanist organizations building, so that's a beautiful thing. We need that. We need the consciousness. We need people to organize, people to get their political education. We need people to elevate the consciousness.
And I think it's also important to understand, because again, sometimes you and I, the reason we're talking about the condition in which we are, how menticide has affected us, that we are praising our oppressor and not valuing the things that are being done for us. The fact that Mumia is in jail, and for us, and Assata Shakur is in exile for us. All the people around the world that are fighting for us, and we don't know them. That's the condition in which we find ourselves. But I don't think, and I don't think you think that that's a fixed position that can change anytime. And that's what we're doing what we do. Yeah. And also we need to understand that is a condition, that is a very normal condition for oppressed people. Among oppressed people, one of the things that the people are oppressed is because they don't even there's a point where they don't even know they're oppressed anymore, right?
Absolutely.
Things are not going the way they want, but they don't really understand the system or what oppressed them, right? And so I guess with this, what I'm trying to say is it's not typical to us. It's not black people, it's oppressed people. Any people that is oppressed, you will find many people willingly collaborating with the oppressor. You will have people many people unconsciously collaborating with the oppressor, in the daily lives. And you will have a few people trying to wake the masses and try to revert the situation. That's very, very normal. Mm-hmm. And that's where we are too, right?
For sure. Yeah, that's kind of a good way to close there, man. Listen, like I said, I appreciate you coming on. Before you go, man, you're headed to Cuba, right? You're gonna be in Cuba. Yes. How long you staying? Couple weeks?
Couple weeks, yeah.
Okay, good, man. You're going home, man. That's
back
good,
home.
Man. I wish I
invited you. I invited you to come over.
I wish, man. I can't right
Isaac now. Too.
I wish I can't right now, man. Yeah,
you both said no.
I wish, man. I wish. There's a lot of work to be done back home, man, in Cuba. Yes. There's a lot of work. If anybody wants to reach out to Vlad, man, reach out to Vlad. He's gonna be in Cuba. And if you're about the liberation of our people and you want to know, or you want to go out to Cuba, let Vlad know, let us know, and then we definitely love to talk to anybody that's interested in knowing the situation of our people specifically in Cuba. Without a doubt.
Yeah, we can put people in contact with people on the ground in Cuba. Yeah. They're doing a lot of work and a lot of work of information, a lot of activism, and a lot of good work being done down there.
Without a doubt. Yeah. So before you go, man, we got to tell the people again about HABANA Negra, for those of you who don't know.
Yeah, HABANA Negra is a very dear in our heart project that we have on YouTube. It's a YouTube channel where we talk about all of these issues we've been talking about here, trying to educate ourselves and at the same time educate the people who listen and watch our shows. And we try to have
in Spanish.
It's in Spanish, yes, it's in Spanish. So if you speak Spanish, please check it out. Yeah. And we have a very great guests. We have had a couple of great guests so far, very knowledgeable people, very people who have been in the struggle for a long time. The first one is Roberto Zurbano. He's a Cuban intellectual and activist and freedom fighter. And the second guest we had is Abuin Fubea, who's also a Black freedom fighter from Guinea Equatorial. And he resides in Spain. So amazing people, very intelligent people with a lot of knowledge and understanding of what we're going through. And those two episodes have been amazing. And that's what we want to do, to, again, educate ourselves with people that have been on the struggle for a long time, and also try to educate our people.
No doubt, man. And the reason why we chose to do HABANA Negra in Spanish and why we thought it was so important, is because when we speak about political education for our people, and when we speak about ideology and all that, and propaganda, there's very little in Spanish. There's very little in Spanish when it comes to Pan-Africanism and, the ideology that we're speaking of. So specifically when it comes to Cuba, and Vlad, myself, and our other comrade, Javierito, which is the third member of HABANA Negra, we come from Cuba. So it was important for us to try to, reach out to our people over there and with the message, and we try to focus on Cuba, but it's not just Cuba. As Pan-Africanists, we're centered, in African people around the world, So without a doubt, if you understand Spanish, check out HABANA Negra. The link to our YouTube is going to be down in the description. Follow us on Instagram at HABANA Negra 2024. That's about it, man.
Around the same note, man, I wanted to congratulate you and the rest of the team for the new morning show you guys have. Rise Up morning show.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
Rise Up International morning show. I've been watching the episodes. It's and honestly, it's very good. It's very good. I like it a lot. I like the energy in the show, and I like the of course the analysis. This analysis that we trying to put forward, and you guys are doing very well. It's so important, you know. It's very, very important to give people the stories of an analysis of whatever is going on in the world right now from our perspective, right? Telling our story ourselves. So I think you guys are doing a great job. So I appreciate that.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, Rise Up Morning Show. We're on every morning from Tuesday to Friday. You know, we're giving you that morning show, you know, from a Black radical perspective. It's on Black Power Media YouTube. So definitely go check it out. I'll put the link right in the description as well. Check it out. Appreciate that, Vlad, man. Listen, I know I talk to you as we speak every day, but, you know, have a good one in Cuba.
Thank
you. Yeah, man. And, you know, the struggle continues, man. We're here. Hopefully we have you back on when you get back to speak a little bit about what's going on specifically with our people, because, you know, a lot of people don't understand sometimes. What our people are living in Cuba is not necessarily what every Cuban is living. You know, our struggle as Afro-Cubans down there as well, which is difficult. You know, so,
yeah. A struggle is everywhere, you know.
Yeah, without a doubt. And we're always gonna focus, you know, on Black first, African first. So that's how we do, man. Appreciate you, my brother.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, man.
Peace.
Peace.
Uhuru. All right. Big up to the comrade Vlad. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it. Please share it with your friends. That's the way you can support us right now. And we appreciate you for doing so. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, remember we're available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And if you're listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, check us out on YouTube as well. Like I said, we appreciate you. Next episode, we're going to be focusing on Black August, and we're going to have a special guest. If you have any, you know, questions, comments, whatever, please leave them down in the description. We appreciate you. Vital Hoops, for the people, by the people, for the culture. Uhuru.